everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Savannah and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, I will be quite honest, the park that we are working in today is our marine animal park that I started all the way back in August of 2023. Well over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. It's closer to 2 years than it is a year. I completely forgot about it. This whole project left my brain. I completely forgot about it, and it wasn't until I was actually going through some of my files, and trying to figure out what projects that I needed to finish up that I realized that this project completely dropped off the face of the planet with only one episode ever having been released. And I had this episode all filmed, everything edited together. It just needed a voiceover. And so that's what I'm doing today. Now, this park, just to refresh your memory in case you weren't around in August of 2023, this is meant to be our marine animal park. It was specifically started right around the time that the Marine Species Pack was being released, and that was kind of the inspiration for this park. And so our first episode, as you can see, is a big lagoon that you enter into with a monorail surrounding it. I did put like a little tiny exhibit in the center of that, like a little terrestrial exhibit. I completely forget what animal I put in there, but that's what we built in the first episode. And now going on to the second, we're building this tier lagoon area for some different marine animals. Now, in the first episode, I didn't have a name for this park yet. Shortly after releasing that, I did actually come up with a name, and we're deciding to call this Cerulean Cove. I know it's not incredibly original, but that's what I came up with 2 years ago, and so that's what I'm going to stick with. So that's the name of the project, Cerulean Cove. And we're doing this two-tiered kind of system over here for the lagoons. Originally, at the beginning of the video, you may have seen that I played around with throwing down some aviaries, doing some different things. I knew that I kind of wanted this to be like an S-shaped path down a hill. But that was really the only idea that I had going into building this area. I really wanted to make sure that in this park especially, but in a lot of my parks, I want to start playing with terrain variation a lot more, because it just adds, a level of realism. Now, I always feel a little funny talking about realism in a dinosaur park, but that's what we're going to go with, because that's always kind of what I try to keep in mind when playing these games and building these parks, is nothing is completely flat, and a little bit of variation in height and terrain elevation and things like that definitely add to make it seem a lot more realistic, and just a lot more dynamic, a lot more interesting to look at. So I tried to keep it very gradual, not trying to make the guests hike up any mountains or trek down any canyons, but trying to keep it just very, very light, but there, so that there is some sort of variant. So this top lagoon is obviously higher than the bottom one. I was originally going to make them very symmetrical in where the viewing was attached to them, but I thought that this layout just looked the best, so that's what I went with. The little viewing, the seats that lower, below that the guests can view, they're in different spots in both lagoons, but that's all right. That's what I thought looked the best. And then we're just going to do a lot of decorations around some of these food and gift shop places that I'm going to place around both lagoons on the way down. I don't actually get to fully decorating around the second lagoon. We're really only going to do the middle part and the top one. So going forward in the next episode, hopefully it doesn't take me another 2 years to get it out. But it will be based around that, and then maybe adding another exhibit or two. Like I mentioned in the very beginning, I was playing around with adding some aviaries, and I still definitely do want to do that. This being a marine animal focused park, to me doesn't mean that it's specifically only marine animals. I definitely want to add some variety and some different animals throughout the park, including just normal exhibits, normal terrestrial exhibits, in addition to some aviaries, and then of course some more lagoons. But the lagoons are very flat, there's not a lot of variation to them. They're very circular and flat. So I definitely want to add some different shaped exhibits with like fencing and things like that. To decorate around, I absolutely love this fence that I'm using. It's my kind of pseudo like chain link fence in Jurassic World Evolution 2 because we don't really have a chain link fence, but to me it's a perfect like don't go here guests, you can't access this area. So I am going to be using it a lot in areas that I wouldn't want my guests to go. So lining that, it's not really a cliff, but it's kind of a hill where that circular path is, lining that so they don't try to climb down it or up it. And then I do line the top lagoon with it as well as a like, please don't run off the path and run over to the lagoon, either stick your hands in it or fall into it. Huge liability there, right? So we want to make sure that guests don't do that. Now in the game, I know that they don't actually leave the path. They don't really do much of anything, but again, going back to that, silly concept of realism in a dinosaur park, that's kind of what I have in mind, is to make sure that they don't do something like that. I do absolutely love, it's obviously not a new feature. This game hasn't gotten new updates in quite a while, but the feature that allows us to add singular rocks and trees is absolutely phenomenal. So that's what we're going to do a lot of, adding lots of rocks and trees. This is meant to be like a tropical / temperate park. That's kind of the setting that I want it to be in. But very, very lush. I wouldn't say overgrown. I'm not using any mods in this park, so this is just vanilla Jurassic World Evolution 2, so everything that you see me doing here is something that you can do if you just own the game. I possibly will entertain the idea of playing with some mods in the game now that it seems like development is pretty much done for the game, because we have talk of Jurassic World Evolution 3 coming and things like that. But to be quite honest, once Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out, I'll probably be very busy with that one and not really returning to 2 all that often, which is another reason why I really want to try to finish up some of these projects before the new game comes out. But yeah, so that to answer your modding questions, I don't usually play with mods because I get really irritated in having to keep them up to date when the game is still being developed, when updates are still coming out and having to reinstall and things like that. I play with like one mod in The Sims 4, and that's just to better organize the build by menus. And even that gives me a headache because The Sims 4 updates their game so frequently that I constantly have to re-download and reinstall a brand new mod to keep up with that. So anyway, we are lining the paths with these little concrete divider things, just anything to give some sort of like detail to it. We really don't have any small decorative fences, and that's something that I would love to see in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now, I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball, shocker, when it comes to what's going on with the next game, information that we know and stuff like that. I've really kind of been out of the loop. Life has been keeping me incredibly busy, and so content creation has been being squished into every little teeny tiny extra space that I have, time in my life that I have, and that's not been a lot. So I definitely do need to catch up on what's going on with that before we actually do get a game release so that I know what's going on. But anyway, small decorative pieces. The builder in me, obviously I play Jurassic World, all the games here, and really all the games that I play them to make pretty things, to decorate things. So the more building, the more customizing options, excuse me, the more customizing options that I have, the better. That's what I want in the game. You know, I'm doing my very best in adding like that little pond, all the trees, all the decorative items that I can, but we only have so many of them before they really start to look repetitive. And, you know, really the only kind of areas that we can build right now are like seating areas or landscaped areas. And so I would love to see more of that come to the next game. Now, going off topic just a little bit and going back to that whole, finishing projects thing, that's not something that's specific to me or specific to Jurassic World Evolution 2. That's something that is across the board for me in all the games that I play. I have a hard time sometimes keeping inspiration going, keeping motivation going. So something that I really want to try to do starting now, it's a little late in 2025 to have a new resolution, but we're going to go for it. We're going to start it now, and we're going to do our very best going forward to finish projects. We're going to start projects and we're going to finish them. I have, I think, 3 parks in Jurassic World Evolution 2 that technically don't have like an ending, so I'm going to work on that. I also did find, and don't make fun of me, 2 complete episodes that are totally filmed, edited on a brand new park that don't have voiceovers yet, but have not seen the light of day as of yet. They are not released. So I'm going to try really hard to get those completed and out, but that also means like a whole nother project. I'll probably try to squish that one down to maybe like a mini park or something like that, so that I don't have another massive undefined size park to struggle to finish. So I'm going to get those out for you. And then talking about Planet Zoo, I have River Rock Zoo's remodel right now that I am trying really hard to get episodes out for, as well as Meadowside Park. Those are the 2 big ones that I'm working on in Planet Zoo. And then for Prehistoric Kingdom, we obviously have Bridgeview Park that only has a couple episodes out, so trying to get that one worked on as well. And then of course 2 Point Museum. Now that one does have an end date because the campaign is only so long, but if you haven't caught that series on the channel and you're interested in 2 Point Museum content, head over and check that one out. That is a game that is a bit different here on the channel, and views are kind of dwindling as the series goes on, which is totally fine. I'm having a blast with it, so I'm going to continue and see that one out because I'm enjoying playing the game. But if you haven't checked that one out yet, just because it is different from other content here on the channel, I would appreciate you forever if you did. But anyway, that is my, midway New Year's resolution, I guess, is we're going to start projects and we're going to finish them going forward. And so hopefully with new games coming out or new DLCs coming out, I can kind of do that as well. Life has been busy, and so that's just, it is what it is. Now, I wanted to mention this earlier and I totally forgot. Don't mind like all the dust and stuff that is sitting around the pieces that I'm placing. This map specifically, in Sandbox, you can change the settings to stay daytime all the time, but the way the sun is positioned when I do that is terrible. Because there's a mountain like right by the entrance of this park, a lot of where I'm building is cast in shadow. And I don't like that. I don't like that for content creation, but I also just don't like that for building because it's kind of hard to build around. So I have to get to the sun in a specific place so that the sun is just right. And then I have to pause it. And so every once in a while you'll have seen like I unpause and I let the dust kind of settle and then continue building. But that's why that's happening and why I have to, keep it paused so that the sun doesn't move and it stays in the area that I want it to stay in. But we're pretty much done here. We're gonna get on to some glamour shots here in just a second. I was throwing some last minute little decorations into the lagoons and around the walking area. Again, very lush, very landscaped. That's kind of the feeling that we're going for. But here it is. Here are the guests walking around in the park. I've got some shots of the animals in the lagoon. To be completely honest with you, I totally forgot what animals I even added in the lagoon until seeing these screenshots right here. I knew that I added the, is it Shonisaurus? That came out with the marine species animal pack or whatever it was called, this one right here. And that was kind of the one that I wanted to add to be like the new animal. It's in the game. Here, look at it. And then here we are 2 years later showing it off. But anyway, so those are the 2 tiered lagoons that we have finished here. Let me know what you think, and possibly suggestions going forward for what animals or what types of exhibits to add going forward, because I definitely could use some inspiration. Jurassic World Evolution 2 inspiration is kind of hard to come by as far as screenshots and stuff go, so let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're playing, and if you're excited for Jurassic World Evolution 3, leave a like while you're down there, and of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!